All right, so we are doing the segment exam review for 6th grade, and I want to go over the exams and how they're set up because it is a little different possibly from what you're used to. So part 1, you have 2 segment essays, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is multiple choice and short response. It's very similar to the module exams that you took for module 1. So we will go over what you need to review for that, but part 1 is multiple choice and short response, okay? Part 2 is writing. So I want you to review module 2, which was your informational essay, and module 3, the narrative, okay? The most important thing that I'm going to ask you to do is to read and follow the directions. For part 2, the writing, you will be given a choice of 2 things to do, right? Everybody can get different ones. But what I want you to do is to follow the directions. If you're asked to write a narrative response and you select that one, make sure you're writing a narrative. If you're asked to just write the introduction, just write the introduction in an informational essay. It's very, very important that you read and follow the directions for the essay, and that's how you'll do your best, okay? All right. So, Sergio, this is the 6th grade. I see that you popped in, Sergio. This is for 6th grade, okay? You're welcome to hang out if you want to, though. All right. So, part 1, multiple choice and short response. Part 2, writing. Review module 2 and module 3. Now, these exams, guys, are worth about 300 points. So, it's really important that you take your time and study. Don't just go and take the exam without studying and reviewing. I need you to review and study. I'm not trying to scare you. I think you'll do very well, but I want you to find a time and a space that's quiet where you can really focus before you take these segment exams. That's not just for language arts, but for across the board. Block out your schedule this week. Give yourself time to take the exam in a space that's quiet where you're focused and you're not distracted, okay? Let's do a sound check. Thumbs up if you can hear and see me. Thumbs up if you can hear and see me. Okay. Someone said I was cutting out. You might want to log out and log back in. Okay, sometimes it's a connection on your end. It sounds like most people can hear and see me. I will try to make sure that I speak louder. I turned up my volume. Okay, turn up your volume if you can't hear me. So, part 1, multiple choice and short response. Part 2, writing. You want to review module 2 and module 3. Give me a smiley face if you're clear and you understand that part 1 is multiple choice and part 2 is writing. Yay. Nice smiley faces, guys. Okay, so now I want you to go to your pace chart. Go to your pace chart for language arts because I put reviews up there for each of your modules. So right now, everyone go to their pace chart for language arts, not the one you saved, but the live one. All right. And for those of you in honors, go to the regular pace chart because that's where I added those. So go to the pace chart and scroll all the way down to the last page, week 16, where you will see the module reviews. All right, I don't see anyone on there yet. I'm on the pace chart right now. Oh, I see one. Hi, Melissa. I see that you're on there. Good, David. Awesome. Scroll all the way down, and when you get to week 16, you can click on the reviews for the modules. Gabby's on there too. There's 9 of us in here, guys, so I should see 9 people on the pace chart. All right, if you're on a mobile phone in the car, sweetie, when you get home, you need to make sure that you go onto the pace chart. All right, Ariel's there. Okay, so look on the pace chart and then click on the Module 1 review. Kai's there. Grace is there. Good. Ishmael, awesome. Okay, if you click on the Module 1, Module 2, or Module 3 review, okay, you will see that the review is there. It's week 16. Oh yeah, you're right, that's a mistake. That hurricane. Week 15, thanks David, I switched it. Okay, so thumbs up if you are on the pace chart and you can see where the reviews are for each module. There's one for Module 1, Module 2, and Module 3. Okay, good. Now, you can't write on those, but if you want to make a copy and then do further notes, that's fine. So you can make a copy of this and then you can go in and review. I'll go over a few things, but that's a more in-depth review. And I really wanted you guys to be comfortable with how things are set up. Okay, so you know where those are. So let's review a little bit, and I'm going to focus on Module 1 and Module 2 because we just finished Module 3. So one of the things that I want you to think all the way back to Module 1 about, Module 1 we covered the elements of a story. We also covered context clues. And one of the things that we looked at were the differences between a dictionary and a thesaurus. Okay? So dictionaries, you can find pronunciation, find the parts of speech, and determine precise meaning. Where thesauruses help you clarify the meaning, and you can use those for synonyms or to add flair, and you can also refer to punctuation on that. So a dictionary is to find the pronunciation and precise meaning, and the thesaurus can help you find synonyms. Grace, you might want to log out and log back in. Okay, sound check. Give me a smiley face if you can hear me and see me. Okay. Let me put a message. Okay, good. Okay, so dictionaries and thesauruses for the exam, you need to make sure that you are very clear on the differences. You might be asked to read a passage and then identify which one would help you out more, thesaurus or dictionary. Give me a thumbs up if you're good with thesaurus and dictionaries. Again, this is just one thing from Module 1, so you want to go back and make sure that you're looking at the review sheet and reviewing all of it. Another thing that we focused with on Module 1 was how to do a good summary. So the steps to write a really good summary is to read the entire nonfiction text, separate it into sections. In your first sentence, mention the author, title, and central idea. Write each sentence in your own words, recapping the central idea for each section, and arrange your sentences into paragraphs. Okay? So those are the 5 steps for a summary. You will most likely see something about summaries on the final exam. Okay? This is in Module 1. It's on the review, but just so you know, you should be looking at what are the steps to write a summary. Okay? Smiley face if you're good with summary and you remember way back in the beginning when we talked about this. All right, Melissa and David, Ishmael, good, thank you. Kai, all right, it was a bit of a crazy semester with the storms and everything like that, but remember to go back and review. And then we talked about how to do your research. We moved on to Module 2. And we talked about how we find out the credibility of your internet source. And you want to determine your purpose, to persuade, inform, or entertain. You want to look at the suffix. And you want to ask those questions about who is the author. Is it up to date? Is it a part of another site? Can I verify the facts? And always confirm the information you find with a second source. So what are the best domain suffixes for research? When you're doing research for something for your informational article, what are the best suffixes that you should look at to get reliable information? Good job, Kai. .edu, .gov. Nope, .com and .net are not good. They're not as reliable. .edu and .gov are more reliable. Good. All right, and it's okay if you didn't get that. Just know that you need to go back and review, okay? So if you looked at this and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't even remember that. You need to make sure that you go back and review. I don't want you to get off of the live lesson and just dive into those segment exams. Again, they're worth 300 points each. It's a large part of your grade, okay? And I cannot reset segment exams. So you can only take those once. So it's important that you study. Yeah, and that's why I don't want to scare you. I think that you'll do really, really well on these, but I need you to prepare, okay? So research. And then, yes, Melissa, Org.com and Net are locally made and they're not as reliable. Good. So Module 2, you wrote an informational essay. So what are the parts of an informational essay? Put in your chat box. Tell me, what are the parts of an informational essay? Good. Yes, David, you're right. Okay, so the parts of an informational essay. So what are the parts of an informational essay? We start with what? What do you start with when you first write the informational essay? Oh, good, David. Intro, body, and conclusion. What belongs in the introduction? So what do you need to make sure that you put in the introduction for your essay? Thesis. Good. Hook. Excellent. Your hook, background information, and thesis. So what is a thesis? What is a thesis, guys? Come on, I know you guys know this. What is a thesis? What is a thesis? Christiana, that's a Google answer. Okay, I want from the lesson or from what you remember, what is a thesis? Because that's a really high level Google response. That doesn't apply to the informational parts of the essay. Good. Main point. Grace, it's not the life lesson, that's the theme. Okay, so that brings up a really good point, is that you need to know the difference between theme and thesis. Okay, so your thesis is the main idea of the entire essay. Your theme goes back to a narrative story, okay, and that's a lesson you want people to learn. But for informational writing, the theme is the main idea of your entire essay. So this is what you should have for your informational essay. Oh, that was my email dinging, the little ding that you heard. I had the volume really loud to help you guys hear it. No problem. So in an informational essay, you have a hook and a thesis. The body, you should have support to go back to your thesis, quotes, and your transitions. Your conclusion, you want to have a transition, restate your thesis, and have a statement of hope. Give me a thumbs up if you remember this and it sounds familiar. Yes, informational essays always have a thesis. Thumbs up if this sounds familiar and you remember this. Good. If you're looking at this and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't remember this at all, you need to go back and review Module 2. Okay? So, the next thing, and Module 3 is narrative writing. We just finished Module 3. When you did your DBA, we reviewed Module 3, so I'm not spending a lot of time this morning on Module 3. It should be pretty fresh in your memory. That being said, I still want you to go and do the review that I put on the pace chart for Module 3 before you take the exams. Okay? These are just some other things that I want to put in your head and make sure that you understand is how to properly punctuate sentences and use your commas. Okay? If you need review on that, it's Module 2. But you should know that to capitalize your sentences, right? To put your punctuation at the end, how to use commas. Okay. Negative and positive connotations of words. This was Module 1. We talked about words can have negative and positive connotations. Beautiful has a positive connotation. Okay? Ugly or frightening may have a negative connotation. So you need to understand, if you're asked any questions, what positive and negative connotations are. Context clues. We spent a lot of time in Module 1 on context clues. Make sure you understand what a context clue is. Someone tell me, what is a context clue? So in your chat box, tell me what a context clue is. So what is a reliable, what's a context clue? Right? It helps the reader understand a certain word. Faith, it's at noon that we're starting for you. This is a 6th grade review, okay? You're welcome to hang out though if you want, Faith, but your live lesson starts at noon. Okay, so context clue, a word that gives you a clue on a certain word, a clue that gives you a hint to tell what the word means. Okay, so a context clue is a word surrounding an unknown word. So when you're reading a sentence and there's an unknown word, the words that surround it, those are your context clues. So the words that surround it are the context clues. Okay, you can also read the sentence before, the sentence after, and it can help you figure out the meaning of an unknown word, and it can also give you that negative or positive connotations. Good. And transitions. You know what transitions are. That's Module 2. Those are the words that you put to connect the sentences, like therefore, next, in addition, in conclusion. And there's a list of transitions that you should be able to be familiar with. We went over a thesaurus and a dictionary, and we went over reliable research websites. Right? So these are just things that I want you to just remember and review, okay? Thumbs up if you are good and you understand that these are some things that we went over. Not all of it, but some of it. Okay. So what I want you to do now is make sure that you are looking at those reviews that I posted on the pace charts. And your segment exam part 1 and part 2 passwords are included in the DBA for Module 3. Remember to review and take your time on segment exams. And they should be done this week, okay, you guys? You need to have a quiet space. And I would block an hour for each of these, an hour for part 1, an hour for part 2. Make sure you review your answers and make sure you take your time, okay? Question.